Guys, gals, and other pals, it is time for Respawn Youth's Last Stand Invitational, our last event of 2025-2026 school year, where our participants are coming in from several different states, participating for a trophy, medals, prizing, and bragging rights. My name is Teo Toma, also known as Upset Life, here representing Respawn Youth. I also have Detention here with me.
Hello, I'm Detention. I'm a challenger mid laner, and I'm also the best Zoe player in the
And we are going to be your casters for today. We've got
mid.
a blistering lineup of teams coming in from Florida, New York, Massachusetts, Hawaii, and spread all throughout as well in Texas and North Carolina. So we're going to have some really fun games, some really exciting games, a couple of people to look out for, as well as your returning champions from the Cryo Cup coming in with Respawn Direct. For many of them, this will be their last tournament, their last event of their high school career. So they're really looking to end it with a big bang, a big win. So really excited for this.
Mhm.
Now, Detention, I know that you know several of these players
I
personally
do.
as well. What are some of your thoughts going into this?
I mean, a lot of the players that I've experienced or played with, they have improved like a lot, like a lot. Because I think I first coached them 3 years ago. I think when they were freshmen, which is crazy. Um, and just to see like how far they've come, how far like everyone's just been galvanized together to try to make League of Legends into something is very sweet. And I think they can take it home for sure if they try.
Absolutely. So we're going to go into each one of the games. I believe the first game that we have slated to be on broadcast is going to be Connections Charter versus the Frisco Falcons, also returning from the Cryo Cup as well. Really fun, engaging team, and they have something to prove this time. But Connections is not going to go down without a fight. They are absolutely so much improved since the last time that we've seen them. I mean, this is a team that has come from the depths of not being ranked, just starting playing League of Legends as of last August, and now they're getting into rank. They're playing as a team. They actually several of them have gotten pentakills recently and taken it down. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting. I think that we're going to see a lot more team synergy. And the cool part is today, very intentionally, we're going to be jumping into some of their comms and listening to. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna mute myself on the other the other screen here. But we're gonna see a lot more of the communication and as well and the strategy that goes behind that too.
Mhm. For I don't really know any of the players on Connections Charter. Could you give me a little rundown of the rosters?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Will I Aim coming in at the top lane. We have Hasten, the Liberator, coming in at jungle. Scott coming in at mid lane. The ADC is J Boy. His name is Jacob, and the support is going to be actually two different starting supports. We have Aaron, who's Charles 69, and Ezra, who is Aki Clan Strong. So they're a ragtag group. They are fantastic to work with, however, and each one of them has a lot of individual strengths out on the rift. And the team captain, it's led by Zachnar Scott. He is absolutely taking charge, taking hold. He is there showing the ropes to the other students, really getting them engaged, going through game theory, going through itemization, and it really opens up a world that they weren't necessarily used to when we saw them back at the Cryo Cup.
Yeah, I'm excited to see people's comps because a lot of times it's actually really fun to see like newer players play competitive or be in a competitive sphere because normally things that weren't necessarily good and competitive are picked and then they make it work and it's really fun to see. Um, and also I'm wondering how since they're newer, how they can handle macro, if how they can go around the map, how everything can go like that. So I'm sad for that because seeing newer players learn macro is very fun.
Yeah, But on the other side, we have Frisco Falcons, and they are a team that is definitely more practiced together. They get together on a weekly basis, going through those motions, going through a lot of that strategy together as well. And we saw them last event at the Cryo Cup come in, with a force in the beginning as well. You have that guy in top lane, right? Really, really showing out well with the Cho'Gath, and then you have Doctor Doctor Drizzle in the jungle, who is absolutely on fire. He was all over the place, and he likes to pick a lot of those non-meta picks, those off-meta picks as well. And then you have Gundam X21 in the mid lane. You have Master Kafuti at ADC, and their sub coming in is Lemur Guy, who I know very well as well. Definitely likes the engage supports, definitely likes that stand your ground with the Braum, right? With the Leona type of deal. So I'm really, really excited to see these two go head to head.
I agree. And also it's a new season, so a lot of things have changed. So it's actually insane that like it's happening right when the season starts because everything that's either really good can become really bad, things that are really bad become really good. So I'm very intrigued to see how they're going to adapt to the situation because the entire game, I mean, it's kind of similar, but most of the times, especially like in the bot lane or in the mid lane, a lot of things have changed very drastically.
Yeah. And the introduction of new boots, right? The
Yeah.
introduction of different items, the changing of several of the items, the removal of phase rush, right? I mean
Yeah.
that directly impacts a lot of those control mages as well
Oh
in the
yeah.
mid. So we're going to see a lot of those changes. But the interesting thing is, just timelines, coincidence wise, when we had that Cryo Cup, our last event in January, that was right after the change of the new season, which means the removal of Otacon. That means, so
Yeah.
many changes going on there as well. So it follows suit. They're on a brand new patch, a brand new season, new items, new changes that are going in, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they adapt to that.
Mhm. And another thing is when I'm excited to also listen to their comms because it's probably gonna get heated because it is a tournament, obviously. But seeing the way younger players or players that are new interact with each other is very adorable. And it's also like so wholesome and so sweet because everyone's just like trying to get things done, but at the same time, they are teenagers, so things can get like a little rowdy. So I think it would be really fun to hear the comms.
Oh, and I misspoke actually
Oh,
completely. I'm sorry. Matter Lions versus Connections is the first game, not Frisco Falcons versus Connections. So I'm gonna retract what I said about the Frisco Falcons going up against Connections. However, I think that's going to be a great game as well as they go into that later on. However, the first first game, my apologies, is going to be Matter Lions versus Connections. Matter Lions coming in from Miami, Florida. Matter Lions um,
Florida.
is coming in, and I don't know enough about their team to really give you enough of a breakdown of who's who, what's going on, who plays what role. However, I do know that they are up for the competition. I know that they have done competitive before, and they're looking to get a win here, especially going in. When you're looking at a tournament, when you're looking at a bracket, when we're looking at a round robin specifically,
Mhm.
that first win gives you that momentum. That first win allows you to take charge and really drives that morale boost, right? To get your team to rally up and make sure that you have that momentum going into the second one. Because, you know, all it takes is one loss and you're basically done, right?
Yeah.
If that gets you mentally.
And like, is it Fearless Draft or no?
It's not going to be fearless draft. A
Okay.
lot of these students are brand new. Like I had mentioned before, a lot of the students are brand new to League of Legends. Only started at the latest back in August of last year, and then at the earliest, some of these students only started January, February of this year. So we're
Mm,
really giving them a little bit of grace. I am a huge proponent, huge advocate of the fearless draft. I love that.
yeah.
The champion depth, the roster depth, however, I don't think is to that point yet that we could do fearless here.
Yeah. And also since they're newer players, most of the times newer players tend to one trick things. So if you just if you pick at one game and you can't pick at the other, you're kind of out of luck. You're just like, I don't really know what to do. So But I kind of wish it was like that because seeing people go like under pressure, they have to adapt things on the fly is a very good skill to have. And I don't know. I just think it'd be fun. But also at the same time, like you have to give them grace because they are newer players.
Yeah.
But
And and I
this
think that's
team being from Miami, I'm rooting for them.
all right. Well, you know what? I grew up in Hawaii, so I have to root for connections, unfortunately. But that could just be the bit back and forth today here on the desk with us, right? Other than that, we're going to look into the other teams that are going against each other in round one that we won't be seeing on screen. However, it will be happening in the background. We have Respawn Direct versus Jonathan Law Judgment that's going to be happening in round one. And we also have the Frisco Falcons, who I was mentioning earlier. I gave you the rundown of them going up against Brooklyn Technical High School's Engineers. So this is going to be a absolute powerhouse. They are actually the seed one. Brooklyn Technical High School is the seed one in this tournament. They've got the highest average MMR and LP. So we're going to really see how everybody fares into that. Are they going to be that David versus Goliath, situation that we saw also in the Cryo Cup with CHS coming in, right? So there's a lot. There's a lot that's going to happen today. Definitely exciting. So keep on, the edge of your seats. Some people who might not understand League of Legends or might not have watched a League of Legends game before, Detention, why don't you run them through a little bit about what this game's about?
About like League of Legends?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, League of Legends is a 5v5 major online battle arena where you get to pick a roster of 106 over 165 characters that individually have specific spells, passives. Each character is completely unique, plays their exact same way, and it is by far one of the hardest, if not the hardest online game, in my opinion, in the world. But the game teaches you a lot of stuff, such as like teamwork, like hand-eye coordination, when to decision making, how to work with others. Like the game, like they actually just did a study where like League of Legends actually increases your IQ. Like playing League of Legends increases your IQ. So just being able to put yourself in an environment where it looks really overwhelming, but at the end of the day, when you sit down and get to learn each individual champion, each role, each thing to do, it is such a fun game because so many opportunities can come from this. You can get scholarships from school. You can travel places and play in tournaments. Like there's you can meet new people. All of my friends are from League of Legends. Like this game has done so much for me and it can definitely do something for you too if you just start playing today because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of elements. I mean, that is one of the reasons why Respawn Youth uses it as its primary curriculum. We have other games that we have curriculum around, but there's so many STEM elements that are in this. And it's just like even proprioception, understanding where you are in space and time. I relate League of Legends a lot to like the combination between chess and basketball, right? Where chess is like that strategy game. You never had someone say like, "Don't play chess; it's not worth it." You don't learn anything from it. It's strategy. But
Yeah.
the interesting thing is, chess is a war game, right? It's built around understanding the different pieces, and sometimes you're going to have to make sacrifices to be able to get to that end goal.
Mhm.
But each one of the champions, we have like 175 champions now, or 172 champions in the game.
Yeah, a lot.
Each one of those champions has its individual move set. So if you're looking at a chessboard with the pawns only able to move back, forwards 1 to 2 spaces, or the bishops able to move at a vertical angle, or a horse in that L shape, right, or the knight in the L shape. Each one of these pieces has their own move sets, very similar to how the champions in League of Legends play, right? And then basketball is just that quick back and forth the entire time, and it kind of means that either you're on the offensive and get to take your turn, or you're on the defensive and have to be conservative because you're either weaker at that time, you don't have one of your pieces around, right? You don't have that queen who can move all over the board, whatever it may be. So it's that combination, and it's really really able to process the information, right?
Mhm.
Analyze and process that information. So hats off to these kids also for coming in and learning a brand new game, learning one of the hardest games to
Yeah.
master in the esports realm, but also learning something brand new that they're able to process and then take those skills and transfer them out to other areas of life as well.
Definitely agree. And like a lot of newer players don't really give themselves credit. Like getting like for instance, if it's your first season and you're bronze or silver, that is completely fine and you should be proud of it. Or like a lot of newer players tend to compare themselves to their friends or anything. Like if you do that in any aspect, it's always just gonna end up in doom and gloom. You just gotta like take accountability to what you can control. And also League of Legends teaches such patience where like when you're playing a game or you're doing something that you're getting really frustrated over, you recognizing that frustration and calming your nerves will make you play so much better. And I think for teaching kids or younger players how to manage their emotions when it comes to playing video games or just anything in life, it is such a good skill to have. And League really tests that because there's so many ups and downs when it comes to playing League, especially in competitive. Like if a bad play happens, you have to just ignore it and be like, oh, okay, let's go to the next play. Let's keep going. Like you can't harp on one thing. And I really hope these teams can do this because it's a very, very hard skill to do. But if they have a good head on their shoulders, they can definitely do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's really where we're going to test that the determination, that grit, that keeping the composure really and understanding that hey, sometimes it's going to get stressful. It's going to be, you're going to have to take some risks and also you're going to reap that reward as well. But got to play with the team. Got to we teach all the time. You're only as strong as your weakest link. If you're letting somebody fail, your team is probably going to fail. You need everybody including.
I agree. And I forgot to mention earlier when you were talking about like the teams that have the highest amount of LP in competitive, that in my opinion means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because there's so many times where I'll play in a tournament and we'll be like a team of full challengers will versus a team of masters or diamond players and get absolutely rinsed by the diamonds just because they're better at playing as a team than we are. Because people that are significantly better at the game have higher egos and they refuse to work with each other. So a team that doesn't have any ego and is just there to win, like they're like even if they mess up individually and they just want to win, they will always win over the better team, even though they're better, but like the team is better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the coordination definitely plays as a more I guess you would say paramount aspect of if you're going to win or not than just raw skill alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we're getting situated, we're getting into the lobby right now. If you're familiar with esports, you know that it wouldn't be an esports event without some type of technical delay or delay in general.
Right.
But we're going to be getting off into the draft momentarily. We're going through getting everybody into the lobbies. They're selecting the roles. What we do is what's called an LCS format. Those who are familiar with LCS or the professional League of Legends space, you do have the ability to go through and each one of the roles is represented in order. So it will be top lane and then jungle and then mid lane and then ADC and then support. Pretty self-explanatory. However, I'm going to go over some of that lingo for you for those of you who don't play League of Legends. Top lane is the top lane of the map. The jungle is the neutral space in between the top, the mid, and the bot lane. The middle is just the middle of the map. Normally, either an assassin or a mage champion controls that lane. Top lane is normally a bruiser or a tank, sometimes a fighter. And then you have the ADC, which stands for attack damage carry, normally a marksman in that sense. But we've seen a lot, especially in this season or this past season, a lot of APCs control that
Yeah.
space, which is ability power carry instead, similar to that mage in the mid lane. And then you've got the support, right?
Yeah.
Support is there facilitating the rest of the team, even though a lot of people think it's a support of just the ADC or the APC. Not, it's the entire team's support. So really, really vital for understanding the awareness on the map as well as getting vision out for the rest of the team. So as we see them coming into this space, we're also, I believe we're going to stream the draft. Um, Yes, we'll be streaming the draft and we're going to be looking at all of the different champions. Now, the draft phase itself is such an important part of putting together a team, right? Detention, what are
Yeah.
some of the things that you say are the most important parts of a draft when you're looking at the team comps? Because there's 172 different champions to choose from. Why is it so important to pick specific champions?
So for drafting, it's mainly a combination of like you're essentially playing like tic tac toe or like you're matching what they're putting down. So they pick something, then you counteract with that. Oh, wait 1 second. My camera zoomed in. Hello? Oh my gosh. Wait 1 second.
No
Okay, I'll just do
problem.
it like this. Okay. So it's essentially where um if one person answers like with something, then you answer with something else. But mainly a lot of drafting comes from an identity of a team comp that you already have going into the draft. So, like for instance, if you have a game plan because you know that they draft specific things, that's when you do what you need to do. Such as if they draft hard engage, then you draft peel. If they draft poke, then you draft hard engage. So things like that are always important when it comes to draft. And also when it comes to drafting, especially for newer players, um, I compared like drafting to like Magic the Gathering, where champions have certain colors and like certain characters are normally randomized together, like picked together. For instance, like Ari Vi, Seraphine Ash, and a lot of stuff like that. So
Yeah.
let
So
me
as
fix
we're
it.
going into the draft, since the draft has started, you're going to be seeing up on the screen two different sides. Matter Lions over on the blue side, Connections Charter on the red side. The first band that comes out is the Amumu. Now, so so the Amumu is a normally in the jungle champ, also sometimes played as support. Really fun little jungler, but that's banned out. So these bans mean that neither team will be able to play these champions, right? So out of the 172 different champions that we get to be able to pick out of, each team gets 5 bans that they get to ban out, and which means neither team is going to be able to play those champions, right? So we have
Yeah.
Amumu and Morgana banned out for the Mad Lions, starting with the Yorick ban for Connections Charter. They're looking at the different players before the game is started. They actually get a chance to scout the enemy team. They get to scout what type of champions that they play, what they're proficient in. And normally you want to ban out somebody that either is really good against your picks, that the champions that you would play, or something that the other team, that the other player is really, really good at, making sure that they don't have that comfort pick, right? Someone that they're really comfortable on. So now, no matter who they get, even if it's a counter mashup, they might do well.
Yeah.
And we see Pantheon banned out
Pantheon
for
as well.
Connections. Yeah, and then we also see a Poppy ban coming in from Matter Lions. We'll see what this final ban is on the Connection side, and then each team will start to pick on their side as well. Blue team being the first, well, they'll pick 1. Red team responds with 2. Blue team responds with 1, and then red team responds with 1, and then we go back into the ban phase as well.
Yeah. Also, I'm a little interested in seeing why they banned Poppy. I guess some of the players played champions at Dash or like to go in, because that's a very specific character to ban. Maybe one of the players in the enemy team prioritizes Poppy.
Or it's
Um,
possible that Matter Lions plays something like Mbessa, for instance, that
yeah.
Poppy does really, really well into.
Ooh,
Or
Samira first pick is ambitious.
we also see the Samira first pick. Now, Samira is a all-in champion. She likes to get up in your face. She is actually one of the lower ranged ADCs in the game. This is the
Yeah.
marksman. So we see that Samira coming in for the bot lane primarily. We don't know if it's going to be bot lane, but that's going to be figured out momentarily. We also see that Caitlyn ban on the side of Connections Charter. So Caitlyn is banned out. They will not be able to pick that champion. We're going to see if Connections Charter responds with an ADC pick, or if they can go into picking something else that is a priority.
Mhm.
And we see the Aphelios coming out. It's a very strong pick right now in the current meta. Also, one of J Boy's favorite ADC picks as well. So he is on comfort right now, has a massive range advantage into the Samira. However, we see that also paired with Braum
Okay.
as well. Fantastic pick, I think,
Great
as far as
answer.
stand your ground. Great answer to the Samira.
Yeah. I will say, so Samira Aphelios is kind of like a skill-ish matchup, but if Aphelios goes Severum, and one duels Samira, she cannot block his attacks. They go through wind walls, they go through everything. And also, it's kind of a skill, it is a skill matchup because Samira, if he goes what's it called? No, not Severum. What is it called? Chakram. If he has chakrams out and she blocks his chakram auto, all of his chakrams that he had saved are all gone. So it is a very, very okay. Samira Rel is an extremely volatile matchup. So I'm very excited to see how bot lane's gonna work. So either Samira is going to be disgustingly fed or very much not so. And Silas coming in as well. Very
Now, yeah, I think it's a great pick here. Honestly, when I see Brom and I see a Silas, that Silas is going to have a field day, right? That Silas
Mhm.
has the ability to get back in there and re-engage with that ultimate, or to start out, right? It's either to turn a fight or to go into the beginning. And also pairing it with that Samira, every single time that a champion is knocked up or CC'd, Samira also gets that passive proc as well, right? Stacking her when she has her ultimate, stacking that ultimate on top of that. So we do, however, see that Will I Am coming in with that Garen pick. This is a prio pick for him. This is his comfort. I'm really, really excited to see how he does in the top lane. And again, remember, Connections is a very new team. The majority of these players have been playing for less than a year, and they're really just dipping their feet in. So props to them even for getting on the stage and competing, right? But I
Yeah,
really want to see if they're able to tackle an opponent like this who's already been practicing for a much longer time together.
yeah. And also, I'm going to be honest, for a newer team, their draft is honestly not bad. Like, I love the draft. Like, Aphelios Braum, perfectly fine. Garen, super good blind pick, can pick into most stuff. I don't think anyone on the other team plays range tops. Or even if it's a range top, if the Garen player is better, he'll just win. Um, like their answer right now is front to back. That's essentially how they're playing, which is where you just whoever's in front of you kill them first, and then you go to the back line. So I love their comp so far. It's very good.
Yeah.
Matter Lions comp, on the other hand, I'm very worried just because it takes a lot of coordination to make Samira work in competitive, even if you are an active Samira player. Um, just because, like, for instance, Garen can instantly shut off your ult. Braum can auto you to death. Just auto you once and then you can't really do anything as a knockup. So I'm very interested. And the Mel ban coming out. So okay. Okay.
So we have Mel and J4 banned out on the blue side, and we have a Yasuo ban on the right side. However, we did not get another ban. So unfortunately, they didn't ban in time. They just lost out on a ban. However, we do see Briar getting
Oh,
selected for the
love it.
jungle on the red side.
Pick
Connections
it.
now. Liberator, this is Hasten's signature pick as well. This is something that he is incredibly comfortable on. This is also the champion that he got his first pentakill on. So I'm just going to put that out there. This is someone who he has less than a year in the game. He's already gotten a pentacle on this champion. So really excited to see this coming out. The Mordekaiser being locked in on the side of Matter Lions, however, looks like that's going to the top side.
Yeah,
Interesting pick into the Garen because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Garen actually wins that 1v1.
he does. He does.
However, banning out the Yorick, that was absolutely key to winning this lane because Yorick absolutely can destroy Garen. It could stop
Yeah.
Garen's, movement with that wall putting it up, and as soon as the Maiden comes down, Garen can't melt the Maiden fast enough to disable him from doing damage. So really,
Yeah.
really great pick on the side
And
of Connections Charter.
so I'm a little I like the theme of Matter Lions. Oh my god, don't you
Oh my
dare pick
goodness,
Zoe. Don't you dare do that.
this
Do not play with me on this day. I
is
swear.
Zachnar going to
I
lock
will be
in
so
Zoe.
sad if they pick Zoe. I will be so sad and present.
And Zoe is locked
Oh
in.
my god.
First
Okay.
game of the day. First game of the
Okay.
day.
Can and Connections Charter, you listen here. Go to my YouTube, look up the build for Zoe. Please do it. Okay?
So I'm not going to
Please.
say this. Scott is actually fairly, I would say, practiced on Zoe. It is
Okay.
one of his maybe 5 picks that he commonly picks in the mid lane. Mel being another one, which was banned out, obviously. So we didn't see the Mel, but we did see the Zoe coming in. And I'm not upset with that. I kind of like it into the Silas here. Silas doesn't get
Oh,
any benefit with the ultimate, right?
great matchup. Great match
Really,
for Zoe. And also she's solo AP.
yeah,
She's solo AP.
yeah.
This draft. Okay.
So really, I
Love
mean,
it.
just in terms of the draft alone, who are you putting your money on? I'm going to go with Connections right away, just because of the actual team comp that put together for it, not just because of the Zoe bias. But with the Hecarim coming in on the side of Matter Lions as well, right? I don't see necessarily how that fits into the team comp as well with the rest of what they've got going on. The only
Yeah.
thing that I can see is that bot lane. And really, it looks like Mad Alliance is only looking to snowball that bot lane out of control to make it just a one lane win.
Yeah. Definitely for me, it's gotta be the Zoe team comp. Like, I'm gonna be so real. Like she is solo AP. They have a good front to back. They have front to back versus dive. But the thing is, they're divers, even if they kill a Aphelios, the rest of their team is so high damage. For instance, Zoe, Briar, Garen. They have instant ways to shut down Samira. Instantly. She cannot play the game. Let's say Mordekaiser kidnaps any of them. Mordekaiser is probably going, like, for instance, Braum can stall in the Death Realm. Zoe can also stall in the Death Realm. Briar can also stall in the Death Realm because if she throws him into the wall, it counts as a wall. So
Yep.
it's perfectly fine. Um, I just really love the team comp. I'm sad. And I'm not saying I don't dislike the other team comp. I just think it requires so much more skill to pull off. And it also is kind of disrespecty in a way. First picking Samira is kind of crazy.
I would say that you're right on the money there. I mean,
Yeah.
as someone who has played in the Apex tiers for League of Legends for several years, just like yourself, right? And understanding the way that drafts go, there are some champions that you just don't blind pick, right? That you don't pick early on because there's so many weaknesses, there's so many ways to counter it. And if the team just wants to screw that one person over or that one lane over, they don't get to play the game, right?
Yeah.
And this seems like exactly what happened in this draft, right? Samir was picked early, immediate rebuttal with the Aphelios Braum, making sure that Aphelios has that range, Braum has the ability to, stand the ground, but also just back off if need be, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot of back and forth here. But the real important part here is understanding the decision making within the game, right? The draft, I say it goes to the connections. However, will connections have the ability to decipher and determine which decisions need to be made to make this draft that they've already won in the draft phase viable on the Rift?
Yeah. I mean, most of the game honestly comes down from Briar essentially surrendering her top side and playing bot the entire game. Because if Samira gets behind once, she's completely useless. And also, Hecarim into Briar is honestly pretty trash. Like, Briar hard beats Hecarim. Excuse me. Briar beats Hecarim very easily. And I'm so shocked. You said that they're newer. I'm so shocked. This team comp, I would be bursting at the seams happiness if this was my comp in competitive or even in solo queue. Um, the Zoe team composition. But
Yeah.
also this game could swing in the favor of Madder Lions if Mordekaiser can get so grossly ahead that like he can just press R and kill anyone, and then they'll just try to win the fight without them. Specifically in fights, I would say Mordekaiser is probably going to want to ult Braum just because like his synergy with Briar and Garen is so strong against Samira.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, like I said, I think it's really going to come down to how they're going to be able to execute each champion on the Rift and who gives up first blood, right? Who gives up that snowball opportunity? Because as we said, Matter Lions does have several champions that, if they get ahead, could be extremely problematic for connections,
Mhm.
right? So I'm really looking forward to this. So we have I will aim on the Garen, Liberator on Briar, Zachnar with Zoe, J Boy with Aphelios, and Charles with Brum. On Matter Lion's side, we have Xenot Grip with Mordekaiser, Elzimon with Hecarim, Bolt with Silas, Trollo Lucifleur with Samira, and
Huh.
Pretzel on Rel. This is going to be a banger. I can't wait to see just how the first 3 to 5 minutes actually play out.
True. Also, let's get into the runes. Now, Hecarim is giga nerfed now because Phase Rush isn't in the game anymore. Even the Storm Surge, you technically could proc it early, but before you used to be able to just WQ someone like early game and just be able to get away with it. But now it has to deal a certain amount of damage. And if Hecarim is 1v1ing someone, he has to actually deal the damage rather than just hitting them with WQ once and auto attacking them. Also in the matchup, Silas went electrocute and Zoe also went electrocute, which is a little strange in my opinion, just because I think you get more value out of Aerie. Also Samira. What? Okay. Also, Samira not going cleanse, in my opinion, is crazy.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a really important factor to look into because of the amount of CC that Braum puts in, and quite honestly, their entire team. Right, a Zoe's, the sleepy bubble or the Briar either hitting with the ultimate or the Q, right, and Braum's passive, or the Gravitum, right, from Aphelios. All of those basically stop Samira from doing what she really wants to do. So we see a lot of early vision coming out with the top side, both teams warding that bush. The bot side heavily warded by Connections Charter as well. It looks like the Briar is actually going to be starting bot side heading top, which is interesting to see in this matchup specifically, but it might just be, hey, let's get the Garen ahead early and just snowball it, right? Because to be honest, with this team comp, all Garen needs to do is flash Q, E, and then R and take out basically any of their team.
Yeah. Also, I wish I could coach this Zoe. I wish I wish Briar would 3-camp bot. I actually think it would have been super good. Like I said, surrender her top side and just only focus on bot. But another thing, when it comes to like scaling, in my opinion, like,
and first blood goes to the Mordekaiser, just too slow to the movement on the Garen. He did not respect the minion damage. He did not respect the wave.
He died. I'm pretty sure he died. Oh, he was off screen. Oh, okay, wait. Zoe kills.
Actually huge!
Okay!
Actually huge! What a kill on the side of Zaknar coming in. Fantastic flash, understanding that the sleepy bubble hit at the same time. That is a 1-for-1. Both teams have an early kill.
Yes. And also, in this game, as even if the enemy gets a pretty big snowball onto the opponent, I'm pretty sure that Connections Charter's comp just outscales them. Oh, Garen does fall again. Got a little greedy for the minion wave.
Unfortunately, the Garen goes down again. William just needs to sit back a little bit, be more conservative in this lane. He's not going to be able to farm. And Briar is heading to that top side, however, which means that Hecarim is going to get that bot side scuttle. Also gives a little bit more of the presence and pressure to that bot side as well. What Samira really wants to be is that aggressive state.
Yeah.
Almost did connect on the Zoe here. Not quite enough range. We see Hecarim.
Sorry. Go. No, you go.
No, we see Hecarim hovering a little bit in that mid side. However, choosing to back because he didn't have anything. Zoe was definitely playing a little bit more conservative and safe, which is really great to see on the side of Connections.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm a little concerned about is bot lane's looking a little in favor of Samira, which is a little concerning. Only reason why is because if Aphelios can play with range, okay, they're into a fight here. Oh, Briar is going to fall for sure.
Yeah, I think it might be a dead Briar here. Unfortunately, there's just not much they could do. Garen, however, is also going to die. He just went in a little
the flash?
Yeah, the flash on the Mordekaiser, but it is a double kill for the Hecarim, however, which, as we were talking about before, the accelerated Hecarim, the accelerated Mordekaiser does pose a problem.
Yeah, it poses a super bad problem for their team. Just because, like, their dive, like, even if great roam from them. Wow.
Yeah, and Zoe getting taken down. The roam coming up from the Rel. Really underestimating the ability for some of the movement on some of these places, right? Bot lane is pushed up to their tower, not able to move. right? And with the Hecarim being so far ahead at 3-0 right now, this is going to be the deciding factor. We talked about this before in the very beginning. It all will depend, even if they lost the draft, it's going to depend on the execution within.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Hecarim and Mordekaiser are in such good states right now. Like the bot side of the map, even though like Samira is technically like the star, because if you play it with a Samira, she needs to be like spoon fed to make sure that she can succeed. But I'm kind of shocked, even though, like you said, the players are newer. The champions they're playing are just much more simpler than Mordekaiser and Hecarim. I'm
Yeah.
very, I'm very impressed by topside being able to control the side of the map actually correctly, rather than just surrendering stuff. Just because like Garen tends to beat Mordekaiser early, Hecarim loses to Briar, but they're actually winning. So
And it looks like Hecarim is setting up for a potential dive here.
oh, another
William
kill.
Garen going down, unfortunately, is going to be another kill going to that Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser at 3-0. Xenox Grip coming in with a commanding presence. And it looks like they're also starting Dragon. This is going to be the first Dragon of the game at 6 minutes. Spawns in at 5 minutes, so a little bit behind even with the amount of pressure and presence that they have going on. But really, Matter Lions is taking this in stride, right? They know that they've got the tempo. They know that they've got the presence.
I mean, if I'm Matter Lions, I'm like so happy right now. We got Dragon, we're scaling well. Even though we did get outscaled, like we are winning in every portion of the map. I love the tempo they're doing. Hecarim recognized, oh, top's dead, we can do Dragon. Or like, oh, my bot lane is winning, let's just do Drag. Like, seeing newer players or just seeing players that are like, they're experienced, but like, not like, okay, Garen, ooh, just by the hair of his chin.
Yeah, getting out. I mean, we also see Garen, I think, is 2 levels behind right now, which is a huge disadvantage. There's no way that you could ever fight. There's no way that you could ever walk up even to have that
Yeah.
fight. So we're going to see actually Hecarim potentially stopping this Garen even to getting to lane again as he's posturing up towards that top side.
Hecarim is looking for a gank here. Oh, Briar does see him.
He does have
Oh,
the
they're gonna fight
level
it.
disadvantage right now.
Oh.
Is
Oh, no,
Briar
she's
going
back.
to be able
She's
to get out?
Oh. Okay.
Not quite. Unfortunately, the Sylas getting the Briar ultimate. Just too much damage coming in from the side of the Hecarim as well to make anything happen here. However, Zoe's still doing a significant amount of damage. Scott, Zaknar, the team captain, is still, making that presence known, making his presence known, and really saying like, hey, we're not going out without a fight.
Yeah. I'm also really intrigued about how these players are going to go about team fighting. Just because, like, even if they're significantly behind, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to lose the team fight. Just because, like, Garen deals true damage, Zoe deals true damage, Braum has his passive. Like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong for Matter Lions. So, even though they are down at the moment, the entire tide of a fight can change just based on the champions they're playing because their damage is so high.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is also, League of Legends is a game of information. It's also a game of inches, right? We're talking about if something happens, even the slightest miscalculation or misplay can change the entire landscape of what's happening on the screen, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to, call them out or make, basically say like they're out of the game just yet, even if they're super far behind.
True.
And it looks like Matter Lions is also taking the Void Grubs. Now, Void Grubs, for those of you who don't know, give a little bit of extra pushing power, which means that anytime that they're hitting the towers in any of the lanes. Oh, and it looks like Samira is going to pick up her second kill from the bot lane. Each one of the bot laners have gone down once, but also taking an additional hit. Now, Braum has ultimate up, which is interesting that that was not used in that fight, unfortunately. The Aphelios ult was. but just not enough to be able to do it. And I think that also hit into the Aphelios's, or sorry, the Samira's W also. So it
Yeah.
just didn't do the damage that it needed to do. Really nice damage on the Zoe, though. Scott, like I said, making sure that he knows, or that Silas knows, the Matter Lions know that they're not out yet.
Okay, Silas. Oh, okay. Great Hecarim ult by. Oh, no, he walked into
and he
bubble.
got the sleep above it, and
Oh,
Zoe
no.
gets the second kill. And wait,
Oh,
Briar
Briar could honestly get
able
to.
to
Oh, no.
potentially, no, just not enough. The rel being there just shuts that ability down. Just too much CC coming into there.
Yeah.
Had the right idea. Honestly, had the right idea, and seeing the health bars low, just not able to get in there. Maybe the flash over the rel could have potentially got there.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the state of the game, it's going to be pretty hard for Charter to come back from this. It is comebackable for sure. Like I said, just in general of just how the champions work. Like, for instance, even if Garen is level 6, he does have a 50% execute on his ultimate and does do true damage. So, okay.
Yeah, that Mordekaiser knows how strong he is right now. Honestly,
yeah.
Xeno's grip is absolutely understanding the boundaries of that champion, right? Knowing what they can and what they can't do really in that lane very well. So
yeah,
we're going to see this also. This bot lane tower is just about to go down. I don't think Aphelios has the wave clear to really do anything here. However, Rel is going to take a tower shot here.
Oh, they're looking to dive for sure.
Briar,
Hecarim
however, fighting Hecarim. Yeah, fighting Hecarim, unfortunately, in that space. Aphelios goes down again. Samira gets her third kill. Oh, man, this is looking rough on the side of connections. But,
yeah,
having Zoe having 2 kills, Zoe went down mid lane. Silas picked up his first kill. Looks like Mordekaiser might get another kill on Garen. However, he's going to turn it around. Garen getting the solo kill underneath tower. What a phenomenal trade there. Just, utilizing the W, utilizing the shield really, really well. Getting that kill. Didn't even, he said, I don't need my flash. I don't need my ignite. I'm just going to sit and ult you under tower. What a ridiculous play. What a ridiculous champion.
Yeah, and like I said, Garen could be 0-50. He still has the ult key. So it can change the tide. Oh, they're cyberbullying Zoe. Unfortunately, Zoe's going to go down.
I have a feeling that Scott is not too happy about that. However, he's doing his best to keep in it, right? He's got 2 kills. Which is the farthest ahead anybody is on the team right now. But what I don't see is a sweeper coming in from the jungle to clear wards when they know that they've got, when they know that Matter Lions has vision in their jungle. We need that sweeper. We need to clear that vision. The second thing that I really want to see is having Braum move out of that lane if he doesn't need to be there, right? I want to see Braum. Great flash by Garen also to save his life. William really utilizing that summoner spell well. Looks like Matter Lions is going to start the second dragon without their jungler even anywhere to be found, right? Jungler's on the opposite side of the map, but just because how far Samira is with a full collector and a BF sword, that's just so much damage coming out, as well as on the side of Silas having that proto belt, right? So it looks like Briar is going to see this happening. Is he going to try to stop and get that dragon, or is he going to just let it go? Looks like Hecarim is there in time.
Wow.
And second dragon going to the way of Matter Lions. Looks like Briar is in trouble, however. Hecarim going in. Briar is not going to be able to do anything. Zoe is in trouble. Samira is really just doing an absolute ton of damage.
Yeah.
Zoe goes down as well. This is looking like it is wrapping up quickly. We have Hecarim at 7-1. We've got Mordekaiser at 5-1. We've got Silas at 2-1. We've got Samira at 4-0 right now. That's really where I'm looking, and we talked about it before about trying to snowball that bot side of the map. They did it effectively. They didn't even need to spend the resources, though. So what does that say if you're Connections and you're looking at this and, reviewing the game and seeing what we could have done differently? What do you think the first thing is?
I mean, the main thing is Briar pathing bot. Um, I think Briar should just path bot starting to top side. And then also, I think Garen just needed to respect Mordekaiser a little bit early game. Um, Even though if you can space it a little properly, it is not that bad of a matchup early. Oh,
It looks like our game froze, unfortunately. So we are looking at Bolt getting slept under the turret, but I don't know if there's enough damage coming out with the Zoe, the paddle actually not hitting the star paddle hit, not hitting in that direction. However, once all right, looks like we're going to be jumping back into the caster desk momentarily because we are having technical difficulties. But I mean, this is a great time to reflect on what's been going on, right? If your connections and you're looking at this game, what are some things going into the locker room, if you will, that you want to really hone in on and say, hey, this is what we need to change going into next game?
did you not hear what I said earlier?
No, sorry, we were having
Oh,
difficulty.
sorry. I was saying definitely think that they need to make sure Briar or just have a clear game plan when they go into the game. Just because, like, even though the draft is technically better, in my opinion, than Matter Lions, they need to recognize their win cons, such as like what the enemy's win con is, such as like Samira or
Yeah,
like Garen not respecting Mordekaiser early, getting a little greedy for CS, not making sure that you're taking into accountability every single outcome. Um, Also, I do think that they should play around their mid laner the most, just because you said they're team captain, yeah?
yeah. Team captain
So
with Zoe.
I think it's Zoe's job to be a little bit more vocal about what they need as a team. And just make sure you have a clear game plan. And like, regardless of any situation you're in, when you're loading into a loading screen, you have to assess their win cons and assess yours and actually do them because you can say you're going to do something and then you don't do it. So a lot of times teams will be like, oh, let's focus on this, but they'll get miscoordinated or they'll cloud their comms or they will do a lot of things to hinder that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the other things. I mean, we're looking at the like I said, decision making going into the game, right? Once you've won in the draft, there's several things that you need to look at as a player or as a team more specifically is where your win con is, right? Where you can potentially get advantage and where you have the disadvantage or how your team or how your champions synergize with each other, right? If you have
Yeah,
the Zoe and the Briar both have CC, right? The Briar has point and click CC, which could immediately follow up and chain into that Zoe sleepy bubble, right?
yeah,
And that's how I think that connections really has to focus in and look at these things and dissect each one of the interactions. When you see William going up and dying in the wave level 1 on Garen and then having him come back and die again on Garen level 2, right? Or still level 1, for instance,
yeah,
that gives you a clear indication is like, hey, we need to change that strategy up a little bit. We need to respect that lane, maybe just sit back and get the experience and level up so you can get, your shield. Because
yeah,
we already saw that Garen, took down the Mordekaiser underneath the tower, even being 3 levels behind, right? Even
yeah,
being 4 kills behind or 3 kills behind at that point. So there's opportunities for us to change some of that decision making going into each different interaction, right?
yeah,
There's definitely opportunities for us to do that, but it just takes the consciousness and the awareness of, okay, if it's not working, why is it not working? And what do we do to change that?
yeah, for sure. They just need to go back to the drawing board over a couple things. And also one thing that oh, they're almost ending the game.
Yeah. It looks like we're close to the end of this game. We're going back to game, I believe, in just a second. Gameplay in just a second. We have Silas on inhibitor turrets. Now, when you
Yeah,
take an inhibitor in League of Legends, it spawns what's called super mutants, right? And we still see Garen, unfortunately, fighting the Mordekaiser, not backing off in these cases where very, very far behind. It looks like Zoe's going to go down as well. Just unfortunately, Hecarim is way too far accelerated. Mordekaiser is way too far accelerated. We have to respect our losses. We have to respect when we're not as strong. And when you're bringing up the scoreboard or when you're bringing up you know, the team over the team summary, when you're pressing tab, you get to see everybody's scores. You get to see
Yeah.
everybody's levels. You get to see everybody's items and what you need to potentially build into that as well. Zamira getting
Mhm.
the triple kill, taking down the Nexus turrets, and this looks like it is the end of game one. Congratulations, Matter Lions. Honestly, I'm going to give the MVP here. I think I'm going to give the MVP here to the Hecarim.
I was just about
He
to say the same thing.
he provided a lot of pressured top lane. He provided a lot of counter ganks when the Briar was coming in. He invaded multiple times into the enemy jungle, took the resources, was able to really keep that tempo going the entire time with taking the objectives, right? Secure all the objectives. And those ganks mid were the only reason why Silas didn't get further behind, right? Bolt didn't
Yeah.
get further behind because you had the kill in the mid lane, the solo bolo with the Zoe earlier on with the flash, right? Where Silas
Mhm.
ignited and flash did not get the kill under turret, right? So there is opportunities there that Zoe could have potentially carried this game
Yeah.
and move forward. Hecarim didn't allow that to happen. He said, shut it. He shut it down right away. He said, not in my house, right? So I'm giving it to the Hecarim, and Hecarim was sorry. What is the name of the Hecarim? Matter Lions. I
I
believe
have
it was
no clue. But they're from
Trollo.
Florida, so support them.
I think it was Trollo. Trollo Lucifleur or da-da. No, it was Elzimon. Elzimon is in the interview desk right now, so we're gonna jump down into the interview desk.
Sweet. Do I go with it? Yeah.
We're in here and we're all ready to go. All
Yeah.
right. How do you say your name? Elzimon or is
It's just
Lizmon?
lemon, lemon was taken.
Okay,
Oh.
Lemon was taken. Fantastic. All right. Well, Lemon, what a commanding presence you had on the Rift today. Like, absolutely phenomenal Hecarim gameplay. What we were talking about a little bit before. I'm not sure if you were listening in on the stream, but you really put that team together. The pressure that you provided top early, really helping to snowball that Mordekaiser, who was already further ahead, right? When the Briar came in, you were counter ganking the mid lane. You absolutely terrorized the
Yeah.
mid laner. When your
Yeah.
Silas, when your mid laner was behind, you were the glue that put that team together and
Yeah.
being able to get the objectives and whatnot. So, what was walk me through a key decision that you made that impacted the
So,
outcome.
funny story is I don't play with quick cast and I play with smart cast, and I misclicked my ult 2 times, thinking I like trying to line
Oh.
it up and completely whiffed on 2 dives my ult. So I don't know how I got away with that, but I think it was just a fat team diff.
Well,
I mean, it was definitely a team diff, but you recognizing, like you full cleared and then you realize, oh, my lanes are winning. I can do dragon. A lot of players do not do that. Even in challenger, they don't do that. So it's very nice to see. You definitely knew how to play the tempo of the map really well. And definitely were the VIP. I mean the MVP for the
yeah,
game.
absolutely. And you're going against the team that is brand new to the game. For all intents and purposes, they only started last August. What is something that you would tell them as far as like a tip or a piece of advice that you might be able to help them move up the ranks and improve on their own gameplay?
Yeah, so as of now, I'm also coming back. I started playing in August as well,
Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
and honestly, just practice. Put in reps and one trickle roll, please. I don't want no autofill booty on my team. None of those. But yeah, just one trickle roll, and I went in like I think it was like 4 months. I went from starting the game to Emerald in jungle.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome job. What have you been, as far as just like self awareness and growth? Respawn Youth is all about esports education, really focusing on the important part of transference of skills. What is one thing that you've been working on lately with your team or personally that showed up in your performance today?
Probably patience.
Mm,
It was such a long lasting game. Like you could go a 50-minute game in league, and then instantly you impatience will click in, and you'll just rage, or you'll just completely break the urge and burn out just because you can't take it, especially
yeah.
with teammates. Oh god, don't get started on solo queue, man.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. and it doesn't get better the higher you go.
Nope. Even in the Apex
Gets worse,
tiers.
actually.
Solo queue
Gets
so
worse.
bad.
Lemon, thank you so much for coming on. Congratulations on the MVP of the first round, and congratulations on Matter Lion's first win as well. We'll see you on the second game.
I appreciate
Even
it,
though
brothers.
you guys
Yeah.
won't be on stream, but you guys will be into the next round. So good luck and have fun.
All right, sick. Y'all fellas take care. We'll push through. Make it to the
You got it.
finals.
Let's
Go
go.
Florida. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, we stay here.
All right, all right. So as our first round has basically finished up for, I believe every team. Are we done with? I know that Respawn Direct has finished. I know that the Connections and Matter Lions has finished. Round two. So round one is concluded. Our MVP is concluded. Everybody give a big congratulations to Matter Lions as well as our MVP Lemon. I think a little celebration is in order. A little round of applause. We're going to be taking a 10-minute break and then getting into our next round. What we have coming up is going to be Respawn Direct versus the powerhouse Brooklyn Technical High School Engineers. They are the Goliath coming into this tournament. They are the favored, winners, but we also have Respawn Direct coming in as the returning champions from our Cryo Cup, in January. And Respawn Direct was the David in that scenario as well. They were definitely a lower rank than CHS was coming in. So nothing is off the table. We've got a lot of excitement coming in shortly. We'll meet you back in 10 minutes.